Hello, welcome to another weekly recap of Trinidad Bhojpuri words and phrase. In this episode, we take a look at the words Jai, Hare, Hamaar Khatir Binti Karo, ROJAA, and GOBEE. Let's go catch up with Vinay of the Cutlass magazine.
So this is the star.
Right, they're doing it like this, right? I'm mashing it up so.
Hello everyone, I'm Karen Das.
And I'm Vinay Harrichan from the Cutlass magazine.
Okay, good to see you again, Vinay. What did you think about this past week?
I thought there was a lot of engagement. I was very happy to see people commenting, asking questions, and when I reshared it on my personal pages as well, a lot of people were commenting there. So I think we had a really good week in terms of participation.
Yeah, so let's get cracking. We had a forceful and an assertive start to the week with the word Jaya. Short, simple, but very powerful. Popular answers, victory, and praise.
Yes, exactly. Jay or Jay is a shout of victory, a shout of praise to say, long live something. I know people are aware with the independence of India, they'd say Jai Hind, long live India. So victory, triumph, long live. And we know it as Hindus in our bhajans, Jai Lakshmi, Hanuman ki Jai. Whenever you say that in a bhajan or whenever you say that in a prayer, you're saying, victory to this person, triumph to this person. May they live long and have a good life.
Yeah, so Jay, and we know that to be a popular name as well for many. So now you know the origin of your name. Nalini also made mention of some shows that you'd be familiar with, and you'd often hear the use of the word Jay, long live the king, glory be to him. So well done.
Yeah, so actually a funny little story. My nanny was one of 10 children, and her youngest brother's name is Jay or Jai. And the story goes that he got that name because when he was born, his father said, Jai, that's it. Like, we're not having any more kids.
You have like the funniest family stories, though. Okay, so, right. Victory. Okay, so we moved on to another word, Hare. And we caught some with this word, Hare. Many thought it to be an exclamation like Hare Bap. I think Rumika was the one who messaged in that one. And some were familiar with Hare as in Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Nana and others made mention of that as well. Just a few were able to identify Hare, meaning abduct or kidnap.
Yes, exactly. And so in that context that people are referring to it, when you say Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, a lot of people know that the word Hari is a Sanskrit alternative name for Lord Vishnu. And many of us know that, Lord Ram and Lord Vishnu are incarnations or avatars of Lord Vishnu. So when you're saying Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, you're just kind of combining the names of Lord Ram and Krishna with Vishnu there. But in terms of the actual verb, Hare, that's a Hindustani verb meaning to kidnap, to abduct, to steal, to take away. And the context that some people might know it in from the story of the Ramayana is the kidnapping of Sita, which is often referred to as Sita Haran. And some people have probably heard it in chutney songs and might not have been aware. And the most prominent example I could think of is Ade Samaru. He came out with a song called Bahena Bahena. And that song is saying that in between Ram and Lakshman, goddess Sita is being kidnapped or taken away. And so I think some people might be interested to hear it in our music.
Great. So now you know Hare, but well done to those who got the conversation going for this word, Hare. We moved on to our Trinidad Bhojpuri phrase, HAMAAR, KHAATHIR, Binti Karo. Hamar Khatir Binti Karo. And this is such an auspicious time for so many. It's a time when many are engaged in worship. So it would be appropriate to actually say this to someone. Hamar Khatir Binti Karo. And Binti, you would remember, was featured on this Trinidad Bhojpuri recap some time ago. Binti. So Vinay, let's work this out word for word. Hamar
Mhm.
Khatir Binti Karo.
Yeah, so Hamar Khatir means for me, for my sake, on my behalf. And then Binti Karo means to say a prayer or to pray or to make a request from God for me. So Hamar Khatir Binti Karo means to say a prayer for me, to say a prayer for my behalf, on my behalf, or to say a prayer for my sake. And
Mhm.
so, some people might know, there's that very popular bhajan, Tum Vinti Suno Sabaki, which means you hear every prayer. And in that song, they're using the standard Hindi, more Sanskrit pronunciation, Vinti, which, as we know in Bhojpuri, sometimes that V becomes a B, Parvati becomes Parbati, and so Vinti becomes Binti.
तुम विनती सुनो सबकी
Right. So thank you very much to those who also left messages on this. Some were able to work it out. Pray for me. So basically, here in Trinidad, in local conversations, you just pray for me. So Hamar Binti Karo. So now you know.
Mhm.
Moving on to another Trinidad Bhojpuri word slash Urdu. See, I have a colleague, Maulana Safraz Ghani, and he keeps up with the Trinidad Bhojpuri feature and identified some words that can actually match up with some Urdu words. And Roza being one of them. And in Trinidad Bhojpuri, we go with ja. So roja in Urdu, roza. And you might recall this word in an Islamic selection, takdir ke roza. There's also a Kabir Das Saki that made mention of the word roja. So roja, roza.
Yeah, so Roja, as we know, is the Bhojpuri pronunciation of Rosa. Rosa is more of an Arabic word, and it means fasting. So fasting from food, water, any sort of material thing that is a distraction. And oftentimes Muslims know it in the context of the fast that they undertake for Ramadan. And I actually know people who, instead of saying Ramadan, they might actually say Roja in parts of Guyana and parts of Trinidad. And so it's very
Mhm.
important to notice that pronunciation difference there. The way that words like Rosa and Nazar in our dialect become Roja or Najar. So
That's
again,
correct.
Rosa is just the act of fasting.
There you go. And on Friday, there is a Trinidad Bhojpuri word, which is food related. And we
Hmm.
went with the word GOBEE. Now, there were two pronunciations, as I mentioned, GOBEE, and then there's the aspirated GOBHEE, GOBEE, GOBHEE. And popular comments, cabbage, cauliflower.
Hmm. Yes, I think they hint that it goes well with cabbage. I'm sorry, that it goes well with aloo potato, made
Yeah.
people guess either cabbage or cauliflower. I think this is an interesting one because aloo gobi, as we know, is a very popular Punjabi dish,
Mhm.
meaning potatoes and cauliflower. So gobi is the Hindustani word for cauliflower, and I find that a lot of the younger generations who are more aware of South Asian food or might be going to restaurants and eating it more may have
Yeah.
come across that very popular dish of aloo gobi. So yes, gobi is just the Hindustani word for cauliflower.
But it's interesting because if you were to look up cauliflower,
Mhm,
and a Hindi dictionary, for example, if it's some, and I know some of you have been using Google Translate, so if you were to type in cauliflower, you'd get pool gobi,
mhm,
which makes sense because it's flower. If you're going with cabbage, it's flower cabbage, which would be the florets, and that would be the
mhm.
cauliflower.
Yeah, and I think oftentimes with these words, it kind of depends on the availability of, something like this in your region.
Yeah.
So let's say in a place where you'd be eating a lot of both cabbage and cauliflower, there probably would be that distinction of pool gobi and gobi for cauliflower and cabbage. And then if you're in a place that mainly just has the cauliflower, it makes sense why you would predominantly refer to it as just gobi and not need to add that Pool
Cool.
meaning flower as a qualification.
All right. So GOBEE, and thank you, GOBEE, for messaging under this food-related word. So that takes care of another weekly recap of Trinidad Bhojpuri words and phrase. Thank you, Vinay. We're going to keep up with some more words in this week. So be sure that you drop messages and keep sending us your words and your memories. Yasmin made mention as well in the comment section for GOBEE. Her uncle is Punjabi, and she says that yes, aloo gobi is something that you'd have at his house. So, and there's also reference made in the Bend It Like Beckham movie.
Aloo gobi.
Yes, I think there's a lot of people know that movie. It's a very famous movie, popular movie. I love it as well. And there's often
The movie or the gobi, aloo gobi?
both, I guess, the movie and the dish. And there's a reference in that movie to having to learn how to make a proper Punjabi meal, and aloo gobi is at the center of that.
There you go. Okay, so thank you once again for joining us for this weekly recap. Vinay, how can folks get in touch with you?
You can follow me at Cutlass Magazine on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or just send me a message, cutlasspodcast@gmail.com.
Well done. And you can keep up with these Bhojpuri features on YouTube. You can look for the YouTube link and you can pass it on to those who are not able to access Facebook. All right. So until our next weekly recap, bye.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this weekly recap of Trinidad Bhojpuri words and phrase. This has been a KDC production in collaboration with the Cutlass magazine, and a special thanks to Caribbean Hindustani.